People don't understand how debilitating back injuries can be. Brooke Lopez, Dwight Howard are guys that suffered back injuries, and to this day, they have not been the same. Here's a little shout out. I think it's Brian Stutter from the MD guy, Dr. MD. Had a great video come out about Mr. Ben Simmons. And in here, he put a total of 61 players with LDH, which is lumbar disc herniation, which is what the surgery that Ben Simmons had to alleviate a nerve impingement on his L4 vertebrae, which means it's basically either the vertebrae due to arthritis or a congenital issue or something is causing pressure on the nerve, which is causing pain and problems down his hip and side of the leg. This report from, I believe, I don't know exactly where it is, but from a health institution, I'll link it in the description. It says a total of 61 players with lumbar disc herniation were included, of whom 34 underwent discectomy, which is the same thing that Ben Simmons just underwent, and 27 were managed non-operatively, which means just non-surgical route. And the return to play rates did not differ between the non-surgical routes and the surgical routes. It was 77.8% between the knots and 79.4% on the ones who did get surgery. So technically almost about 1.6% increase for players who did do the surgical route, but there was 7 more players who did go have surgery. I think the biggest thing what we're seeing here is that the guys who did have surgery played significantly fewer games and had a lower player efficiency rating than players who in their first post-operative season, they saw no difference between that and their 2 or 3 years after the surgery. So it, kind of shows that the surgery, might have not helped them, as there was no difference in the games played or PR seen from the players who did not have any operations, and they played more seasons. So in conclusion, NBA players have a higher rate of returning to play regardless of the treatment for lumbar disc herniation. However, the post-index performance differs between surgical and non-operative routes managed. When you compare, it seems that there needs to be a larger sample size, but you going non-surgical might be the better route, because what the doctor on YouTube explains, the more times you do surgery, the weaker it is, the more likely or susceptible it is to recurring again. So what does that mean? I've talked about this all the time. Brooke Lopez, Ben Simmons, and Dwight Howard all are guys who've had back injuries. We saw it. Brooke Lopez missed an entire season. Took him forever to come back. While Dwight Howard, same thing, a few seasons, he looked terrible with the Wizards and whoever it was before. And supposedly he had a huge cyst on his back, and he had to get surgery. And then he looked way better with, obviously the Lakers, and won a championship, which was obviously huge. And for me, when I look at this situation, I just think it's unfortunate. But I also think it's something that could be solved. And I think, as on the whole, I think a lot of people just want Ben Simmons, sometimes it seemingly seems, to fail, and I don't understand why. And I think it's rather unfortunate. Now, at this point, what do I expect? I don't even know, man. Shout out the Nets, though. They seem to be way more accommodating and helpful than I think the Sixers ever were. If you're a Nets fan, how's this going? I think the Nets do need to tank the year. We've talked about this before. It's a strange one. It's one that I think there could be answers to fix, but I'm aware that there's there's a lot of things that need to be put together, but that's it. If you guys made it to the end of this video, let me hear your thoughts. That's everything I had to put there. Peace out.